You are listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Thanks for tuning in today. I wanted to talk with you about acclimating to your desire. Because if what you want isn't happening as fast as you'd like it to, it could be because you're not actually fully acclimated to it. Here's what I mean by that. Acclimating to what you want is where you come to expect it as a thing that's going to happen, right? Not a thing that you wish would happen or something that you want to happen, and certainly not anything that you worry might not happen, but something that you fully expect to happen, like you believe in it, right? It's where it starts to feel normal to you, kind of obvious. Not a crazy cool thing, but yeah, you were expecting it. So it makes me wonder, does it seem obvious that your dream or desire or goal or whatever it is that you want is going to unfold? If so, you're probably well acclimated. If it still feels sketchy though, like it could go either way, or like it's a pipe dream that's pretty unlikely, but still would be super cool, you probably still have some acclimating to do. Acclimating to your desire is where you get used to the idea of having it, instead of being used to the idea of wanting it. It's just where you learn to expect it. Here's an example from my recent life. When I was house hunting, I started out looking at, kind of expected things like normal houses in normal neighborhoods. And I wasn't getting super excited about any of that. And I realized, it's not because that's not what I really, really want. What I really was interested in was something really different. Something Something that didn't involve neighborhoods, like no sidewalks, no streetlights, not so many neighbors. And it really excited me. Okay, the idea of it felt fabulous, but it also felt really far away. And I started flirting with looking at places like that, and it felt kind of scary, like unlikely, like you couldn't really pull that off. Like it was just crazy fantasizing. But I realized this is what was in my heart. This is what I really wanted. So I started looking at it a little more, like maybe seriously looking. And it still felt like that would be crazy. It would be so cool. It would be so cool to have a bigger piece of property where I could have more animals and be closer to nature. But I still needed internet. I still needed reliable phone. And I still needed access to town because I'm not going to be self-sufficient. So it just seemed like not likely. It seemed like the combination of things that I needed in order to make it work, it felt kind of pipe dreamish, to be honest with you. But I didn't give up on it. I kept thinking on it. And I didn't just think on it. I did some looking. I did some talking. I did some research. I was Googling, what does it mean to have a septic tank? What would it be like to run a household on propane? The sorts of things that I had no familiarity with whatsoever. Didn't really know anyone who did anything like that. And I'm just one girl. It's not like, I'm bringing anyone else who can help pull something like that off. It felt far away, but I kept practicing the idea of it. Once I realized this is what I really want, then I practiced believing in it. I practiced seeing myself there. And I drove to places and I talked with people and I ran questions by others and I learned, I started to get used to the idea. I realized, you know what, Jeanette, you can totally do this. And I was saying that to myself before I really fully believed it. But the more that I practiced it, the more that it started to seem like, you could totally do this. So I turned this crazy idea into something that was doable. And in the process of imagining what it would be like and seeing myself there, and again, I did all this because I realized this was what my heart truly wanted. So I was very conscious about lining myself up with it, very conscious about acclimating myself to the idea of it. so that when I finally got here, it was something that worked. Okay, and that's how we acclimate to our desire. And one easy and effective way is just to pre-experience it in your mind, in your imagination, repeatedly, until it starts to feel normal. Like you just think the thoughts of it, and you feel the feelings of it, you put yourself there internally, vibrationally, until you get really intimately familiar with what it would be like. That's all we're talking about here. In fact, that's why Mike Dooley practices. He just does a 5-minute visualization 5 days a week. He takes weekends off. But he practices having what he wants in his mind before he has it. He feels the feelings of it. That's how he gets used to the idea of it. That's what I did with the house. I imagined what it would be like, what living there would feel like, what my life would look like. And I drove to places and talked to people and read up about it online. That's how I got used to the idea. Just by practicing it in my mind first. And pretty soon, it seemed like it was doable. And pretty soon, it was within reach. Before you know it, here I am, living a dream come true. It seemed like something pretty crazy just a handful of months ago. Because here's why this is important. You know what happens if we do manage to manifest something that we're not fully acclimated to? We can unmanifest it. That's how lottery winners burn through money, right? It's how we sabotage good relationships. It's how we gain weight back because we haven't gotten fully used to the idea of really having what we want. So if whatever you want seems like it's taking a while to get here, you might just need to practice it better. Practice having it until it feels more normal and natural, kind of obvious and expected, until you believe in it, and when it seems like an of course. I'm telling you, this is a process well worth your attention. I hope you got some tips here. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss new episodes. Thanks for listening, and happy manifesting, everyone.